The BC government continues to allow the sport hunting of bears, despite the fact that most British Columbians oppose the hunt. A diverse coalition is coming together of First Nations, scientists, tourism operators, and concerned citizens, all calling for an end to the sport hunt of BC's great bears. The grizzly bear has been hunted to extinction throughout most of its range in North America. BC remains one of the last strongholds for these great bears. It is unknown how many still exist in the province, yet the BC government is allowing a record number of bears to be killed for the sport of trophy hunting.
I love individual grizzly bears. They're very intelligent. They're the symbol of the wilderness, and I feel it's highly unethical that our society today should be allowing this sort of primitive sport to satisfy the egos of wealthy people that go out and shoot a beautiful grizzly that's lived in the wilds for 20 years and hang it on somebody's wall to prove that he's a man. I think that's, we're more ethical in that today.
Not only are they being threatened directly by human impacts, so they're being hunted, they're now being impacted by persistent organic pollutants, their habitat is being degraded or destroyed, they're now feeling the effects of climate change as well as the loss of their traditional sources of food like salmon. But they also have an inherent biological vulnerability to decline. They reproduce infrequently, and when they do reproduce, they have small numbers of young. We need to be very, very careful. This is a species that's extremely vulnerable to decline.
Last year, we had a record amount of grizzly bears killed in this province in the history of record keeping. So instead of the government managing more conservatively, they've actually increased the hunt.
The government's calculations allow for 4% of the grizzly population to be killed every year. One problem, however, is that they don't actually know how many bears there are. They base the kill quota on an estimate of 17,000 grizzly bears, whereas many independent bear biologists believe that the population could be less than half of the government's estimate.
And if we get that number wrong, we could very easily over-harvest that population. Definitely the government's estimates of the number of grizzly bears is inflated. Largely that's a consequence of the inaccurate methods that the government uses to estimate the number of grizzly bears.
Despite the fact that the majority of British Columbians are opposed to the trophy hunting of bears, thousands continue to be killed each year, damaging BC's reputation abroad. It is time for BC to end the hunt.